Alright, so let's not judge today's eye look too harshly. I was feeling pastels because, you know, spring vibes, and I need to get better about like actually knowing how to use and blend pastels and what to pair them with. So it's looking a little muddy, okay? Hey guys, thanks for coming back to check out another video. So this is update 22, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is 22 to the Project 50 pan. So the bun is just gonna go crazy and we're all gonna ignore it. If this is your first video of mine that you are seeing, this is actually the Roulette Pan collab that was started by Rebecca and Alexi, and they do theirs in more of like a structured time frame type thing, like where it runs for like a 4-month period, and then they randomize the category they randomize a number that corresponds to a category that then you pull a makeup or beauty item in to work on. And so when I first started out, I was like, ooh, 4 months, I don't want to do that. So I've just slowly been working on all 50 categories. And if you would have told me like when I started this, like, Haley, you're gonna be doing this for 2 years, I would not have believed you. Like, I just did not think that it would take this long. So if you missed my update for last month, we did decide to just call this done, finished in April. That's going to be the 2-year mark officially, and that's just a long time to be doing the same thing. So it's been really fun. This has taught me a lot, and I'm really like happy to have, you know, at least touched all 50 categories. I don't know if I'll actually meet my goals for all 50 categories, but like I said, like 2 years is just a long time to be doing the same thing. So I do always leave Rebecca and Alexi linked in the description box, as well as the latest Roulette Pan collab playlist, so that you guys can go check out and follow along people who actually play by the rules. I do know that they said, I don't think they're bringing this back again until sometime in the fall, like maybe September or November. So it's going to be most of the year where people are not actually doing this project. So there is that. But I think that is all of the rambling that I have. I don't know, sometimes I lose my train of thought. No, that's not all the rambling I have for you. So last update, what we did, as well as deciding to end this at the 2-year mark, I had, I think, 3 categories that I hadn't touched yet, and I just went ahead and rolled them all into this project. So now there's not going to be like the roulette, like randomizing aspect to it, because we are now working on all the categories. So now, without any further rambling, let's just get on into the update of the products that I have. I'm also in the description box gonna leave what these what category the product corresponds to, just to make this a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. You know, I got some errands I gotta run today, okay? So the first product we will talk about is the NYX Lip Primer, and I believe I brought this back into this project, or like started using this in this project like in April of 2020 or 2019. What was the first day that we have on here? We brought this in, yeah, April 29th, 2020. So we have been consistently working on this for a long time. I don't think you can tell much difference. This is just one of those very slow moving products. I do use this every day, but again, it's not something that I like constantly reapply throughout the day. I just use it once when I'm sitting down to do my makeup. I can show you our little piece of paper here so you can see this like new bottom line mark that we made. So we have used like a lot of this product, but I'm just so surprised that we're sitting here close to the year mark and it's still kicking, it's still here, like it's amazing. So I've also went back and forth on our lip primers necessary for me, and I'm still kind of struggling with that. I don't think they are. I found that most people don't think they are, so I feel a little bit better knowing that I'm not in the minority as far as like lip primers go, but I will be happy to completely finish this off. However, I do not think that the goal will be met and that I will have this done by the time we end this project in April. All right, the next thing I want to talk about, I know this got rolled in 2-3 updates ago, but I decided to work on my Jouer Essential High Coverage foundation, and I have mine in the shade Porcelain. So if you guys caught my last empties video, you know that I did finish this off. So the pump quit pumping on this, and I thought, oh, we're really close to being done. So I unscrewed it and tipped it over into a different container and let it sit for about 24 hours to make sure I could get all of the product out, because I do not have like a bendy like spatula type tool to really scrape the sides of it. So I know that it still looks like there's product in there if you're just looking at the sides of it. However, I did dump it all out into a container, and I was working on it from this, and I finished it off. So I had probably about, I don't know, I didn't keep track of it, but I would say I had at least a week's worth, if not more, of foundation. And so that's really like a big packaging flaw in my opinion, that the pump doesn't reach down far enough to access all of the product, and there was so much still left in there. So I'm glad that I tipped it over. If you own this foundation, I recommend that you do that too. But if you do decide to decant it, then you need to like really hyper focus on it and get it out as quickly as possible, because I have found once you like decant certain products into different containers, it does change them and they seem to go off a little bit quicker. So, but yeah, really happy to have this finished out, rolling, well, it's not even rolling out because there's nothing new to roll in, but you know, really happy to have this done. All right, let's talk about the next thing. I brought in one of these Fenty Gloss Bombs. I picked up the holiday pack this past Christmas. So this was the gloss in the shade Baby Brut, I think is what it is. Yeah. And last time, if you guys remember, I said like, you know, when I pull the wand out of this, like no product is coming out, like I don't know what to do. And you guys gave me such helpful tips on like different things that I could do. So I did try putting this into hot water, and that worked for like 1 or 2 days, but ultimately I just went ahead and decided to remove the stopper. So I have done that, and you can now hopefully see there's like a bunch of windowing and everything. However, one thing I'm noticing is that the wand for this gloss will not be able to access the like whatever gloss is left in the bottom of this packaging. So I'm going to have to find like a different lip gloss wand in order to really get the full amount of value out of this. I really love the formula of this. I think these are very comfortable. However, granted, this is just a mini, so if you own the full size, let me know if you think it's the same thing. I don't like that, you know, the wand for the gloss started getting dry super early on, and there's still so much product in here. And then the second thing, that the wand can't access what's down at the bottom. So I feel like it's a super, like it's a really intense struggle to actually be able to use this up to its fullest and get the full value out of it. So I don't know if I would like repurchase these Fenty Gloss Bombs again, but do really love the formula and the colors of them. All right, the next thing we were working on was something from a neglected palette, and oh, is this not ever a neglected palette. So I picked the shade Chopper from my Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. You guys, I have used it one time since we last saw each other, so it is this shade right here. So having used it one time, that brings it to 7 times in total, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 7 times total, so 13 more uses. I don't know why it's such a struggle to reach for this. I think at this point in my eyeshadow and like makeup journey, this palette just holds more sentimental value to me than actual value of like wanting to use it. I do have a video planned out for later this month about like going through and looking at all of my like super similar eyeshadow palettes, and this will be featured in there, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to give you some more like clear-cut, defined like thoughts and opinions on what I want to do with this eyeshadow palette in that video. All right, so the next thing I will show you is we were working on a highlighter from the Balm. It was the Lou Manizer. My goal was to use it 20 times within here. So the last time we sat down and talked about it, I had used it 9 times, I believe. So I needed to use it 11 more times, which I have done at this point. And you can see I have really expanded the pan on this. I am so pleased with myself. Like, this highlighter just looks so loved. I'm also now at the point where I have a lot of like these golden, like light golden highlighters in my collection. This one does have the biggest pan on it, the most use, and it is one of my favorite ones. I am toying with the idea of trying to finish this off within the year. I don't think that would be too much of a struggle, because the good thing about the Lou Manizer is that it's not as a super impactful highlighter as some of these other ones. It's really much more soft. So it's a great mixing highlighter. So I feel like I could either wear this on its own or mix it with other highlighters and not get bored and not feel like I'm, you know, tied down to like one product. So still going back and forth on that, but for the sake of this project, goal was met. I did use it 20 times and expanded the pan greatly, so really proud of myself. All right, these last 3 items to talk about were rolled in last time, if I'm not mistaken. So I did roll in, I think this was for a loose product. It was the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil, and this was just like a little deluxe size sample. I did mark it on the back with like blue nail polish. It was only about halfway full, and you guys can see like I did finish it off. I ended up taking out the stopper, got all the use out of it that I could. So I'm really happy to have this worked through and out of my collection. This, I don't think I would repurchase this mineral veil from them. I like a lot of Bare Minerals products, but just not this. I feel like it gave my skin a little bit of like a pinky tint, and it just wasn't my favorite. And honestly, it did the same as any other setting powder that I have currently in my collection, and so, or any like other loose powder. And loose powders take me forever to go through, so even if I wanted to repurchase this, it's not something I could do at this point anyway, because I want to get through the other loose powders in my collection. But yeah, happy to have this one done as well. All right, this next one is like probably the most least exciting to look at other than the Urban Decay palette that we're not using. I think I rolled this in for a category, something that illuminates, highlights, or brightens. And instead of bringing in another highlighter, I brought in a glowy foundation. So this is from NYX. It is the Born to Glow foundation. I have mine in the shade Light. And it's not that exciting to look at because I don't have a scale. I can't weigh this, and the packaging is black. So we can't like see through it and like assess how much is in there. The air bubble is still very much in this product, but I feel like I'm close to pushing out the air bubble. And once that happens, I foresee that there probably won't be that much product left in here. I go back and forth on whether or not I want to cut this open to see how much, but since it's in a squeezy tube and like I'm able to manipulate the packaging, I don't think I will be cutting it open because I feel like I will get like my full amount of like use out of it just squeezing it out myself, you know. But I do really love this foundation. This is probably, now that the CYO foundation no longer is in existence, I have one more in my collection, but technically it's no longer in existence. I think this would be my favorite drugstore foundation. So once I finish this off, this is definitely something that I would repurchase. It is a more runny foundation, but a little bit goes a long way, and it does offer such nice coverage. Yeah, if you were in the market for like a glowy, medium to full coverage drugstore foundation, I would definitely recommend this. All right, and the last thing to talk about is from my Hourglass palette. So I rolled in, I can never remember the shade name. I think it's Diffused Light, which is their like kind of pale yellow, almost like finishing powder or setting powder. I just use it to set down like my eyeshadow primer and underneath my eyes to set down my concealer. And then I also use it around my nose and my smile lines just to help with any creasing. So the goal was just to hit pan on this powder. And the last time that, well, I think it got rolled in last time if I'm not mistaken. But I had been using this already on my own, and so the dip was quite noticeable. And I didn't think that I would hit pan on it, but look at that. That is quite massive pan, if I, you know, do say so myself. Now, granted, these pan sizes, I think it's always deceiving when you see this like on YouTube. I thought that these pan sizes would be much bigger than they are, but like, I don't know, maybe if I hold up like a finger, I don't know really how to help you guys see. Like, there's the little deluxe size Bare Mineral packaging. Like, you know, a pan size is like the same size as this little deluxe guy. So they're quite tiny. So there's not like a terrible, like there's not a lot of product in here, but I don't think it's worth the price tag of this, but I do think it was a good way to try a bunch of expensive Hourglass products. I do really enjoy this, and so it would be something that I would keep on my radar to repurchase at some point within my life. But I'm tempted to change the goal since we did hit pan so easily. I kind of just want to finish it off and see it through. I think it would be really great, and then it would be another setting powder down and out of my collection. So I think we will change the goal to finish this off and see if we can do that by the time this project ends in April. So yeah, that's it. Let me quickly get everything together and we will talk about the items that are still going to remain in this project. All right, so we are still working on 5 items within this project. So we have the NYX Lip Primer with the goal to finish it off. We have the NYX Born to Glow Foundation with the goal to also finish it off. We have the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Baby Brut with the goal to finish it off. We have the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, the shade Chopper, and the goal is to just use it 20 times, so we have 13 more uses left. And then the last one is, technically this was a goal hit, it's very reflective packaging, but it is the Hourglass Diffused Light Setting Powder or Finishing Powder, whatever you want to call it. This one right here, and we hit pan on it so quickly that I'm just going to change the goal to finish it off. That way it's still a little bit like more exciting to watch this for the next few updates. But yeah, so that is it. Leave me a comment down below. What do you think we will have finished off by the next time we do this update? And then after that update, it will be finale time. So we're getting down to the wire. I'm pretty excited. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a good day or a good night or a good whatever. And I will just catch you in the next video. Bye.